Coming up on Tarvalin After Dark.
I'm going to finger you.
Cheerful white men on YouTube.
Not with that attitude.
Annals of Time.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, that's mean.
The light illumine you, and welcome to Tarvalin After Dark. My name is Jess, the Amerlin Seat, and I'm here at the Thirsty Tinker, Tarvalin's most disreputable inn, located in scenic North Harbor. Hail and well met, beloved listeners. Today is extremely exciting because we are talking about Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2 of Stranger Things. And we've also got segments and shit. I don't know, whatever. But first, let me introduce my partners in debauchery, Nablus, Kevin, and Jenny Sadai. Good morning.
Good morning. Honestly, though, can we get this podcast over? Jenny and I have an appointment.
Look, unless you're going to fly me out there to, I don't know, go on a boat, we might have to.
So wait, I just want to get this straight. So I want to confirm. Mm-hmm. If I flew you out here and you came on the boat, are you making promises?
Well, we all have our price.
For context, before the show, Jenny was trying to give me the finger, and then she said, "I'm going to finger you," to me, and I said, "Come again?" And she said, "I really, really want to finger you hard," is what she said. But
hilariously, that's a direct quote. Yes, absolutely. Yep. No falsehoods detected.
And so now. Yes. No, I am excited, though, because this... Hey, Nils says $20 is $20. Oh, shit. So I am very excited because this actually is... we're starting a series this week. We're gonna Stranger Things Season 5, the final season, comes out here in a month. And so what better thing to do way too late than to start going over all of the episodes of Stranger Things 2 episodes at a time. We will be ready to review the new season by about this time next year. So, but we are going to start going through Stranger Things and talking about it. First of all, because I don't believe Jess has actually seen it.
That's correct. This is the first time I have ever watched it.
Which is awesome because it will be fun. And the rest of us have seen it, and I actually had this idea because I had already started rewatching Stranger Things because I wanted to be ready. And I really enjoy it for a number of reasons, which we'll talk about. But so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the seasons of Stranger Things. We'll give sort of our running commentary. And since Jess has never seen any of them, this will be fun to sort of hear her opinions as we go. And I'm very excited. So make sure to wait until the final segment of this here episode, where we'll get to hear Jess's thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 of Stranger Things Season 1. Because if you're not aware, if you've been under a rock like Jess, Stranger Things is, I believe, the most popular streaming show ever produced. So
really?
In terms of number of viewers, it is a phenomenon to the point that this final season is there goes Kevin.
Oh, Jesus.
This final season is going to be 2-hour episodes, like full-length movies where they've spent close to, I want to say, $500 million on the season.
Damn.
Or more. So
it's ridiculous,
yeah. They're going all out, which is very telling because yeah.
I do have to say, though, I did want to sit down, shake the Duffer Brothers. I can't remember which one of them it was, but said in an interview, people like this model where they have to wait 2 years because they know we're spending no, they don't. Nobody likes this. What are you talking about? You just like it because it's your job. You're happy with it.
I don't necessarily think I like it, but if I knew what the alternative was to rush it out, I'm happier that I get a series that's really high quality that I can go back and watch over and over again. So this is where I think you and I differ, Jenny. Because,
very much so. Violently so.
Now, that being said, the writing still has to be good. So, for instance, right, if I go back to let me take one of my, you and I share a favorite show. So, or one of our favorite shows, like Star Trek: The Next Generation, great show.
Yeah.
Would I have waited longer at that time to get better graphics for it? And the answer to that, I think the graphics were pretty good for the time, right? So I don't really feel like I would have felt the need to do that. That being said, the original series is pretty shit when it comes to that. And I think sometimes, at least now,
the original series, so I don't know.
It's hard to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
Even though the writing isn't great, but the stories are somewhat great, I would say. So anyways, I don't know. I think that there is a balance there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want shit graphics. Like, I would argue, okay, I'll throw this out there. I have seen a little of Babylon 5. Babylon 5 compared to Star Trek: The Next Generation. Different budgets, obviously.
Oh, like a third of the budget. Like
right.
Not even. Yeah.
But like those graphics to me are distracting. Like the CGI in Babylon 5 is like, I think that's the reason why I could never get into it, frankly.
Okay.
Because it was distractingly bad. So anyways.
Okay. I don't mind it. I don't care so much about that. So I keep looking because Kevin keeps starting typing and then not finishing. So I keep wanting to see what he's going to say.
Even his typing has bad internet. I don't know. I don't know, Kevin. But I am excited for this. So for this here series. And if you have never seen Stranger Things, or if you are not sure about Stranger Things, or if you've never watched it, or if you didn't like it, it'll be fun for us to talk about it anyway. So make sure to stay tuned for that. That all being said, Jess.
Yes.
Would you like to begin? That sounds like the beginning of what? Is that like Saw? Would you like to begin, or what is that from?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
You know me, and you have never watched anything.
It's horror movies. I don't watch horror movies. I watch cheerful white men on YouTube tell me what happens in horror movies. That's how I consume those plots.
That seems like a better way to do it.
It really is. It's not scary when they get, and then the bad guy comes in and stabs her in the head. Hey, I'm like, oh, that was not scary, but now I know what happened. Yay! That's
why I go. There's a website that I like called themoviespoiler.com, and that's where I go to learn what happens in scary movies.
Yeah.
But hey, how about some news?
Ooh.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Our news doesn't make that sound. So, anyways.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that. So we'll start. I got 4 things in the world of pop culture, or sci-fi or fantasy, that I think are kind of cool. So I'll start with the one that's already happened, but I enjoyed it, actually. So I went and saw Tron Ares. So it's the new Tron movie. And I'm old enough to remember, not necessarily when the original Tron came out, but I watched it a lot as a kid. And I remember thinking, wow, look at these really cool computer graphics. And now it's like terrible. It's funny.
Yeah.
I really liked the last Tron movie that came out. I thought the soundtrack, like Daft Punk did the soundtrack for that. Have you guys ever seen Tron? Like, you're looking at me like you have no idea what the fuck I'm even talking about.
I've seen the original, and I had the same, felt like it was amazing. I haven't seen it since, like, the 80s, so I have no idea. And I did not see the sequel one. I do know the music. The music was really good.
My ex-husband made me watch it, so yes.
Like the original or the last one, or?
The original.
Okay. Well, so there was a new one.
Leitner.
There was a new one. And it was good. So I don't know how well it's doing, but it has a lot of really cool people in it. Like Gillian Anderson is in it.
Oh, that's a selling point.
Yeah, and Evan Peters is in it. And
Gillian Anderson is Sapphic Catnip.
Dude.
Sapphic Cat.
Seriously, though.
Yeah.
That's funny. So that is out currently. That is out in the movie theaters. And I like to point that out because I am a huge fan. And I don't do it as much as I used to. But I am a huge fan of seeing movies at the movie theater.
Oh,
I just think the ambiance and the experience and hearing the loud sound and all that is very important. So I will always support going to the movies. Okay. Another thing that might be up your alley, Jenny, up your alley, and you may be up my alley.
Hey,
Well,
I see what you did there. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
actually, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this or if I will watch it yet. So, there is a new Star Trek show coming out called Starfleet Academy.
Yeah.
And they just released a trailer for it. Hold on. Bless me. Okay. So, please cut that.
I'm not going to cut that.
Fuck you. So yes, this Starfleet Academy is coming out, and it is I think the oddity of it, like they're taking a show with like a bunch of younger cadets, if you will, and I think they're having
It's
a whole
Academy. It's like a YA show. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically from what I saw in the trailer, it looks like there will be an academy there will be like relationship drama, of course.
Yeah.
The doctor from Voyager is in it. So
and Tig Notaro, who is in Discovery, she's an amazing comedian. I love her.
Now,
she's
go ahead.
all right in Discovery, but I love her as a comedian. Like, she's fucking hilarious.
Well, so in theory, right? I think it's a difficult premise in the way that like Deep Space Nine was, where you have static, right? Like, how do you get out and do the exploration thing, which is going to be odd with Star Trek. But I think the thing that I like less, and I don't know why I like it less. I don't like. So for those that haven't been following Star Trek Discovery had a massive time jump forward. I won't give massive spoilers to that, but let's just say the 32nd century. So you're talking basically 700 years after the events of Star Trek The Next Generation, roughly. Okay. So, and at that point, let's just say Starfleet is not the same. Okay. How about that? That's a good way of putting it without spoiling things. And things are not great. So this is like restarting Starfleet Academy is the premise of the show. The issue that I have is I just don't know how much I feel invested or care about Star Trek 1,000 years in the future. I don't know.
For me, my issue, I saw it. I will watch it. I can't help it. Although I say that I watch every Star Trek show, except that there's a few I haven't watched. I haven't seen Prodigy, and I still haven't finished Strange New Worlds. But I will try to watch it. The thing that irks me is I don't know if I want to watch a bunch of relationship drama at a school in Star Trek. Like, that's not what Star Trek should be to me, but that's what the trailer makes it look like it's gonna be. And I'm just, it's Riverside. It's
Hogwarts.
Riverdale or whatever. Hogwarts. It's like a bunch of young people at school, and that's Star Trek is supposed to be in the stars. And so
sure.
I don't quite know. I will give it a go. I'm definitely gonna try it. But I'm like, the thing I sold myself on when I was watching it, I got excited when I saw the doctor, and I was like, oh, Tig Notaro. Woohoo! I love her. Except, like, she was in Discovery, and I got excited when she showed up in Discovery, and then my feelings about Discovery are that I really want to like that show. And that's as far as I got with that show. It's like, I want to like this show so much.
Yeah, I struggled with it.
Yeah.
So that's coming out. The next thing, and since we're on the topic of Stranger Things, there are unconfirmed, confirmed but unspecified spin-offs to the Stranger Things universe. So when they conclude Stranger Things season 5, the Duffer Brothers have hinted and said basically that there will be spin-offs in that quote-unquote universe.
Milk that cow.
Yes, I was going to say milk that cow. Now, it will be interesting how they pull that off, because I think my opinion on Stranger Things is not that I think the in-world universe is bad or the things they've established are bad. I think we get that, and we'll learn more about that in the conclusion of season 5. But I think the characters are the draw.
Yes.
like because I feel like we followed them since they were little tiny and that we have right since they were basically kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the connection, is those characters. And so to see how will they, like, I would watch a spin-off buddy cop with I don't want to say this to spoil for Jess yet. Let's just say one of the older kids and Dustin.
Okay. I don't remember. This show.
Okay, well, never mind. We're not that far yet.
Yeah.
I would just, I'm wondering, how are they going to spin these things off is my question.
Right,
so,
right.
anyways, that is happening. And the last piece of news, I think you will like this, Jenny.
Okay.
So I don't know if either of you have watched the Percy Jackson series on Disney.
I did.
I did too. And I actually enjoyed
yet.
it. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
So for the new season of it coming out, Kate McKinnon has been cast as Aphrodite. So
Okay.
Nice.
And I love Kate McKinnon.
I mean, she's hilarious. Yeah.
So I feel like she will be a wonderful Aphrodite.
Yes, lesbian funny
show.
Ladies just all over the place.
Yes, all the lesbian funny ladies, and I wonder how much fingering they'll be doing.
Probably not any on Percy Jackson, I'm just gonna say.
Well, I certainly hope not, but hey.
Yes. So
all right. Well, now it's time to go to our old-timey reporter to do This Week in Nerd History.
hello, my fellow archivists of the arcane and champions of the chronologically curious. Welcome back to Nerd History, the segment where we dust off the annals of time to find the gems that glitter with geeky glory. So
Annals of
grab
time.
your usquai, settle into your chair, and let's take a stroll through the past. Let's rev up the DeLorean to October 13th, where we kick things off with a veritable constellation of birthdays. Paul Simon was feeling groovy, Lenny Bruce was shocking on the squares, and Chris Carter, creator of The X-Files, was busy making us believe. Speaking of spooky agents, October 13th also marks the fictional birthday of Fox Mulder himself. Coincidence? The truth is out there. Meanwhile, in the far-flung future, October 13th, 2324, a certain Dr. Beverly Crusher was born. A doctor, a genius, and, if I may confess, one of my formative sci-fi crushes. She could heal a phaser wound and break a heart at warp speed. You could say she totally crushed it. And yes, I've been in sickbay about it ever since. Zoom forward to October 14th, a day that's faster than Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier, which he literally did in 1947. Also on this day, Winnie the Pooh hit the shelves in 1926. A bear of very little brain, but an infinite supply of heart. You could say that it was a honey of a debut. Now over to October 15th, where Pope Gregory XIII said, time itself needs an update, and introduced the Gregorian calendar in 1582. That's right, folks. The world literally skipped 10 days. Imagine going to bed on October 4th and waking up on the 15th. That's one heck of a hangover. Also born this day, philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who declared that God was dead, and TV's first couple, Lucy and Ricky Ricardo, with the debut of I Love Lucy in 1951. October 16th brought us the Great Beer Flood of 1814, when over 300,000 gallons of ale burst from a London brewery and flooded the streets. Somewhere, Matt Cawthon just raised a mug in salute. Truly a tavern tale for the ages. So there you have it, folks. A week of space doctors and fictional feds. So until next time, just remember, the past is just the present with snazzier hats.
The annals of history.
The annals.
I said annals? I didn't
Nope,
say
you
annals.
totally
Yeah, you did.
said
We
anals.
didn't, though.
We said annals and you couldn't
We
hear
said
us.
annals.
Okay.
You didn't hear us, so we said it.
Okay. I heard you say something, though, one of the times I fucked up. I heard, "Rrrr," like some sort of like high-pitched voice.
I think you said Beverly Crusher was born aboard
Yeah, on
the
the
USS Enterprise.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's not right.
I was
That's
like-
not right.
She
No,
was
that's-
born
Wow.
and grew up there.
Yeah.
That's
Born and bred on the
crazy.
Enterprise.
You
That was
know,
incorrect.
when I was a kid, I used to think it would be so cool if I had my own Starship Enterprise. So
I mean,
I
You know-
mean,
It would've been.
objectively, it would.
Honestly,
Yeah,
if you just had a
objectively, yes.
if you just had a holodeck, I think you would be good.
Yeah, the holodeck has stopped seeming quite so cool to me since AI became a thing, and I'm like, oh, they just stole everything to make everything in the holodeck. It's all just,
Well,
it seems less
Mm.
cool now.
I mean they did, but
Yeah.
I would also say it's pretty fucking cool to go into anything, right? You could go
Yeah.
I mean-
anywhere and do anything, and I could do Sherlock Holmes
Yeah.
and create real life
Create life.
by-
Yeah, create life. by
in
just
the holodeck. Makes total
wanting it to be as
sense.
smart as Moriarty. Yep, that's how that
Yep,
works.
That's
Mhm.
totally how that works. Okay.
I mean, is it not how it works? Okay, now it's time for my segment. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
it is. Yeah, it is.
Do you all want to hear something fucked up? Welcome to Do You All Want to Hear Something Fucked Up? A segment where I tell you all something that's fucked up. Did you all know that there is a town in Pennsylvania that has been on fire for over 50 years?
I did.
I did hear about that.
I did know this.
Yep.
Wow.
Centralia, Pennsylvania is now a near ghost town located in like central eastern Pennsylvania. And so,
Can I
because
interrupt
it
you
was,
for,
yeah,
for just a second? Did you say a near ghost town?
yeah, near ghost town.
It's on fire and it's a near ghost town?
As of 2024, there were 4
Damn.
people still living there.
Damn.
Because
Those
there are some people who
stubborn.
just absolutely refuse to leave.
But
for
they
some
all
goddamn reason.
currently have lung cancer. So
I would imagine.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So basically, because it was back in the day, they decided to throw all of their garbage in a hole.
Mhm.
And then they decided to burn the garbage. And then for some reason, the garbage fire would not go out. And they
Yeah.
realized that the hole that they were burning the garbage in had an opening into the coal mines, because this was a coal mining town.
Of course.
And so ever since, all of those coal veins have been on fire, and they
Yeah.
estimate that they will continue to be on fire for another like 250 years.
Wow. And I'm still stuck on those 4 people being like, this is our home. It's on fire.
That's exactly what they're like. They're like, no, this is our home. We're not leaving. Fuck off. And it's
they actually still work in that coal mine.
Wow. Every day before they go down, drinking their potion of fire resistance as they
Well,
Yeah.
down into the mines.
they keep sending the canary down. I don't know if you guys know about that with coal mines. They used to put a
Right, right.
canary and send it down.
Mary.
They do that every day to see if they can go in, and for whatever reason, it comes back up dead. So
So for whatever reason,
they just had a bunch of days off.
okay, but they're still pulling in those checks. All
Yeah.
right.
You know it.
I mean, okay, if that was how it worked, I might not move either. If I could still get a check for just not going into work for 20 years. So, holy shit, that's
So-
fucked up.
Yeah, that's a fucked up thing.
So that is fucked up, Jess.
Mhm.
It is fucked up.
I have a fun news segment for next week that involves
Yay!
Jenny, but I'm not going to say anything else.
Well, that's mean.
Yep. Well,
You have a new segment. You have a new segment about me that
no,
involves.
it just is tangentially associated with you. Let's just say it's called Jenny's favorite books.
I'm really confused, and I'm very curious. Okay,
You'll have to wait and tune in next
Guess
week
we'll
to find
see what
out.
happens.
fine. Fine.
Oh, there is a randomly. Okay, so the guy that does this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Okay, so that guy from Billy Madison,
Mhm.
there is a Netflix documentary about him. Because
Why?
apparently he was the head writer for SNL and wrote most of the super funny sketches for 35 years.
Really?
Okay.
Yes,
Mhm.
and he is. I didn't realize exactly who he is, but he is fucking hilarious. And he pops up every now and then but he was the head writer for SNL.
Mhm.
He wrote for Conan O'Brien. He wrote for David Letterman. I don't know if you've ever seen the Conan O'Brien podcast where they're like talking about how Jeffrey Epstein was like convicted of whatever, right? This guy's like, "Oh, Jeff? No way." Like he plays it off so straight. You mean Jeff Epstein, the financier? No way. Like he plays this off and it is so funny. And I didn't realize it was him. But anyways, I just saw this
That's so
documentary, so very quick pitch. That guy is hysterical. And there's a whole documentary about him because of like how influential he was. So he wrote most of like the commercial spoofs that they do and like yeah. So indirectly he is responsible for our show.
Interesting.
And we will also, to Nils's point, be having a fingering segment next week.
Oh, yay.
Where we will do some live fingering on the show.
Finger
Wow.
blasting. Whoop, whoop.
Interesting. It's gonna be fun to figure out how we do that, considering we are like in different.
And
all
that
different
show will go into the annals of history.
Yep,
Oh.
there it is.
All right. Is it time for a commercial, Jess?
And now a word from our sponsor.
Do you remember the 80s? Back then, we had freedom. You could stay out until after dark playing Dungeons and Dragons and then ride your bike home on country roads, all before you even turned 12. Those were the days. Do you ever ask yourself, where did those days go? Well, you have one person to thank. Fucking Will Byers. Freedom was all great and stuff until he managed to be the only boy in history to get sucked into an upside-down dimension of terror instead of just going straight home. What a piece of shit. If you've ever been wondering why kids look at screens all day, it's fucking Will Byers. This is why we can't have nice things. Public service announcement paid for by the Will Byers is a bitch group and the Council on Why Kids Can't Play Outside Anymore.
The Council of White Kids Can't Play Outside anymore.
Yeah, we were lamenting the lack of playing in the woods. Kids don't play in the woods nearly as much these days.
Well, I mean, if you were going to get abducted
By the Demogorgon?
by a Demogorgon,
Yeah.
you know, maybe
yeah.
that's a great lead in though. So we are going to discuss Stranger Things, starting with season 1 and 2. So I think before we dive in to breaking down the episodes, I think it would be cool to at least acknowledge, I think, why the show hit a tone, or I think why it became so popular, right? Because it came out originally, and I want to say 2016. I think that was it. 2016 might have been the original.
I don't actually know.
I think it was. So it's been a long time. But I think it really hit like the nostalgia trip. Like
Yes,
it was very
100%.
80s, right?
Yeah. And it like, even though when I was watching those first 2 episodes, I remember having this feeling the first time I watched it too. It's like they are trying to evoke Steven Spielberg in the way that it's directed. Like very much so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I know at least for me, like it took me on the nostalgia trip a little bit because I remember, I mean, obviously I was born in 82. And I think you guys were born a little bit before me, but either way, we are all in some fashion children of the 80s.
Yes.
So like I remember many of the things, right, that happened. And so it was really cool to see some of that and about how they even went back and got like old school cans of Pepsi and like things like that are very cool. Yeah. So I think let's start here because Jenny, you and I have seen it before, albeit you've not seen it for a while. So watching it again, Jess has never seen this. So Jess, instant reactions to see episodes 1 and 2 of Stranger Things. Go.
I really liked it. On the topic of the nostalgia factor, like it was just one thing after another. It was like the gremlin that Winona Ryder is driving and the rotary phones and the feral children riding out in the middle of the night. Although they had headlights on their bikes, and I'm pretty sure that we didn't have headlights on our bikes. That wasn't like,
well, if you were riding on the back roads that far, maybe you would.
like, I don't know, I grew up rural and we didn't have headlights on our bikes. But
Mm.
anyway, one thing that really jumped out to me was, I think it was at the beginning of episode 2 where it's like panning across and it goes across like kind of a broken down shed and there's a guy working on like an electrical pole, and then it like pans over to the Byers house.
Mhm.
And in that busted up shed is one of those little spring horse
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yep.
And I was just like, I got one of those for Christmas when I was like 2 years old.
Mhm.
And there was nothing covering those springs. If you weren't careful,
Nope.
it just pinched your little thigh.
Oh yeah.
Tetanus. It was tetanus in a toy.
It was so much fun.
Mm.
So yeah, it was, yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It's sort of like the X-Files meets the Goonies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good mix. That's a good way to describe it, actually. Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it very much.
Yeah. But it feel like the
And also-
feeling, it feels like ET. I don't like the
Yes, that was
something-
another thing that I was thinking, because I actually decided that since I have to watch them anyway, I'll go ahead and do reaction videos to them. And that was one of the things that when the people were going into that very Cold War era coded facility, the way that they were suiting up, I'm like, are they going after ET? Like, what is happening?
Mhm. Yep.
Well, and so let's talk about. So I'm going to do a very quick recap of the happenings of the episode, or episodes. So episode 1 was called "The Vanishing of Will Byers," chapter 1, and I love how they do the chapters. I don't know, it's very bingeable. Like you can get sucked into watching all of this.
Okay.
But anyways, chapter 1, The Vanishing of Will Byers. So basically back in 1983, in November of 1983, we see the episode opens with an attack in a U.S. government laboratory on an unseen creature. You just see a bunch of people. That's kind of like the cold open. Okay. Then we flash to these kids. There are a bunch of them, 12-year-olds, playing in Mike Wheeler's basement. They are playing Dungeons and Dragons, which also is very nostalgic for me because I did that when I was a little kid. But Will, on the way home from that Dungeons and Dragons game, gets attacked or abducted, and it's kind of unclear exactly what happened, but it seems to be related to earlier said creature. They kind of discover that Will is missing. The kids find out later that he's gone, and of course everybody starts freaking out and trying to find Will. There is also what appears to be a young girl wandering around in a hospital gown. And this is sort of not explained at the time, but she stumbles upon Benny's Burger Joint, which I almost in my head, I always call it Bob's Burgers, but stumbles across there, gets fed, right? And ends up, the agents show up and they kill Benny because these agents, government people, are looking for this girl named 11. And she apparently has special powers because she kills them with her mind. Then later, to end the episode, we have Joyce, who is Will Byers' mom, receives a mysterious phone call that she believes is Will, even though he's gone. And then while they're out searching for Will in the woods, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, who are the other 3 boys, come across 11. And that is the end of episode 1.
Yes.
Then we move on to episode 2, which is chapter 2, The Weirdo on Maple Street. So this is always funny to me because there's like a 0% chance this could have happened in my house. But they bring 11 back to Mike's house, and she basically like sets up a fort in the basement and
A really
lives
sick
there.
fort too.
It is a
It
sick
is.
fort.
Yeah. Why couldn't it have happened in your house?
I don't, because there's no way my mom would never have noticed that there's a girl living in the basement.
Your mom always went down to the basement. See, I
I'm
could have
sure.
hit her. I lived in a house at one, like when I was grade 5 to grade 14, or till I was 14, and there was 7 women in that house. I was the only one who went down in the basement, so I could have hit somebody in that basement if I wanted. Except when it had to do laundry, but it was scheduled. Like people knew when, because there were 7 of us, so we all knew when we were doing laundry. I could have hit someone in that basement so easy.
Well, so Mike, who they brought 11 to Mike's house. They come up with a plan to like get 11 out because they're not really sure about who she is. And later 11's like, no, I don't want to leave because bad men are after me. And so Mike kind of lets that go. Jonathan, who is Will's older brother, goes to meet their dad to find out if they know where Will is. And of course, his dad is a dick and blows it off. We also have kind of met Hopper, who is the police chief. This was like David Harbour getting really famous in this show. For good reason, by the way. He's great in this show. But he begins looking like they're all looking for Will. 11 continues to show off new powers. She demonstrates telekinesis, and then she says she can find Will. And so 11 basically tells them that she thinks that Will is in the quote unquote upside down, so underneath a game board, and that the Demogorgon is who has him. We also meet Mike's sister, Nancy, who is like the epitome of an 80s smart girl. And her friend Barb, who is the most 80s person.
Barb. I'm
Barb.
so mad at Nancy, and I
remember oh yeah, I guess Barb is gone. I guess
it happened in this episode.
I guess you're right. It was like no spoilers. But they go to a party with Nancy's boyfriend Steve Harrington, who is Joe Keery, who is another breakout star.
Not like him.
You don't like him?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Don't like him.
While searching for Will near Steve's house, Jonathan photographs the party. And receives a call. Joyce gets another call from Will. Hears music playing in his stereo. She's like, she sees a creature coming out through the wall, which is kind of scary. And then Barb is attacked by the Demogorgon and vanishes, and that is the end of that episode. So, Jess, did you watch ahead?
I did not.
Okay,
I watched the first 2 episodes. That's it.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I have watched this before. I have vague memories. I don't remember much. I remember when Barb showed up, like when she showed up this time, I was on like, oh, I remember I liked you. And then it's like, wait, something bad. And then it happened. I was like, oh, fuck, Nancy, she didn't want to go to the party.
Well, she didn't have to go. Nancy didn't make her. And, you know, look, Nancy was getting the D, all right? And in 80s movies, sex is always punished.
But sex is usually punished. Like, according to 80s movie rules, Nancy should have been the one that got it, not Barb. That's the way
true.
The rules were. Yeah.
That's true. Well, fuck Barb. So she's a nerd, all right?
Barb was being there for her friend.
One thing that I noticed in the first, whichever episode, now they're all ready, like running together, but in whichever episode where the first call came that she thought was from Will, the phone rang 2 short rings instead of 1 long ring. And I don't know if you all ever did this, but if you called your own house and then hung up really fast, it would make the phone ring, and it was 2 short rings.
I didn't know
and that would work because it takes a second for the call to like connect. So that's why you could hang up and have it ring. And it rang 2 short rings. The call was coming from inside the house.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yes.
It sure
so I was like,
was.
all right. So I mean, because I exist in the world, I have heard people refer to the upside down. So I'm like, okay, so I'm guessing that this is some kind of like mirror dimension or something like that, where he's inside his own mirror dimension house trying to call his mom. And that's why it did the 2 short rings. So I was like, I see what you guys are doing, or what I think you guys are doing anyway.
What I think this show does so well is there's not much that's like super manufactured twists, I will say, but they do a good job of revealing more and more as the show goes on. And I think that's why it's very well written. I'll just put it that way. I think it's a very well written show, especially season 1. So who is, let's get a couple things here, because we don't have super long, but All right. Favorite character so far, Jess, go.
I think the curly-haired kid. I don't remember
Dustin?
what his name is.
Well, there's two. I mean,
There's Dustin.
Dustin is the one without teeth.
Yeah, the one without teeth. That one.
Yeah, Dustin. Yep.
Yeah, I like him. He's just funny. Like his whole like the way because like obviously like 11 has had some fucked up shit. Hey, look who's here.
I'm in a new location. Sorry about that. I'm back from the Upside Down.
Yeah, he's
Hey.
back just in time to talk about the Upside Down.
Just in time to talk about it.
Um,
So like I don't know. I just think he's funny and he's
mhm.
like cute. Like
Yeah.
little like cute little kid that you'd babysit or something like that, you know?
Mhm.
Like so yeah, I think I like him the best right now.
Okay.
Well, you know what? No, that's not true because you want to know what? I really liked Benny and legitimately like grieved when he got fucking capped. And I actually really like the police chief.
Yeah.
Hopper.
Like, yeah, he's a deeply broken individual and like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You know what
Top
the
three,
morning?
there you go.
You know what the mornings are for, Jess? Coffee and contemplation.
Coffee and contemplation.
So,
Mhm.
well, Kevin, now that you've arrived back with us from the Upside Down, can you? Who is your favorite character in episodes 1 and 2 of Stranger Things season 1?
Oh, you know, without giving much away, because I want to keep Jess's opinions as pure as I can, and I'm not sure what has been stated at this point. But going back, especially like on the like the second pass, I think I only watched the first season. I've only watched any season one time, I think. But so this is the first time I've rewatched it, and Steve is just like I like him a lot in later seasons for different reasons, but starting out the series fresh, there's something that is just like undeniably charming about Steve. I just can't.
No,
It's-
I
hate Steve. Huh?
Oh no,
I'm
we don't
glad.
like
I'm
Steve.
glad they do.
Steve
I'm glad.
is fucking he's that guy who doesn't listen. He continually pushes boundaries, like disrespectful. Don't like him. Don't like him at all.
All
He's
those
trying
things
to
are true. Yes.
he's trying to fucking bone down and
Mhm.
he's an asshole and I don't like him.
Have you met teenage boys before?
I was going to say he is a teenage
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, I
and
have
that
met
excuses
teenage boys,
everything. Okay,
and
that
a lot of
excuses it all.
them weren't like that.
Um,
So there's a level of entitlement there
mhm.
that
Absolutely.
You can tell he's the he can tell he's the hot boy that like
yeah,
yeah,
and it's
he's
just like,
expecting it.
ugh,
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
asshole.
Granted, I think that the first time I watched, I shared your opinion. I did share that. It's more of a looking back and
Well,
me kind of filling in the blanks.
Let's
yeah.
not give away too much, Kevin.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Because
More
now
than that.
she
I know how to
knows
talk
that
spoilers.
he sounds redeemable. So
I never said redeemable. I said I like him in retrospect, looking at his path.
fair.
That's all I've said. Nothing about
Fair.
redemption.
I think up to this point, he's the most likable character for sure. So
Mhm.
I'm joking. I'm
Okay.
joking. I just wanted to rub it in. Jenny, what is your favorite character so far?
Just stole my answer.
Aw,
Dustin.
you love Dustin. Dustin
love
is one of
Dustin.
my favorites. too.
Dustin's
Yeah.
great. Dustin is
Dustin's
good.
great. I like that. It is one of the things about this show that I find remarkable. Like the kid actors are so good.
Yes, they
You know,
are.
they feel incredibly authentic and nothing feels overdone or like over even like I was noticing I sure I must have noticed this the first time, but I found myself noticing it, like even Millie, like 11, Millie Bobby Brown, is that her name?
Yeah.
Like when she's being melodramatic, that feels authentic. And usually that's where kids struggle the most.
I
And-
actually think she has the hardest acting job in this show.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
kills it.
she kills it because usually kids have a lot of trouble with any like acting any extreme emotion because that's hard. Like how do you tap into that sort of rage as a child who has probably not been tortured by I don't know some
Mhm.
sort of government or like, but she did, and I was really impressed by her. But as far as like just the kids across the board, they're good. They're remarkably good.
I think I agree with you. Dustin has always been my favorite of the four, like the four boys. I just think he's the most.
He's so charming.
He is. He's just. He's a great. I like. There's times where I love Mike, and then I won't say this, and then there's times where I want to like beat the shit out of Mike. So like, like I do feel like Mike in this first season is very likable to me. At least very believable for that. So I do like Mike here. You know, and I'm actually a big fan of the Byers family because I just think that it's
Yeah.
Joyce is like delightfully
Yeah.
crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but also not like.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things I appreciate about this show too is, you know, you mentioned this earlier that they were like channeling E.T., right?
Mhm.
And to a degree, like they do such a great job of setting up the tropes
Yes.
of like the bad guys look like government baddies from the 80s. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
like very much look it. And what I think I love about this show, and I don't want to necessarily, again, without spoiling anything, I love that sometimes they play very hard into those tropes and they're accurate. And then sometimes they're like, oh, we flipped that trope on its head, right? And we've already talked about a few of these, and I find that fun because it
Yeah.
makes the show somewhat unpredictable.
Yeah.
And there's some characters that are even more tropey that'll get introduced in later seasons that I think are like Billy, for example, who I can't wait for Jess's reactions to Billy.
Oh, they're gonna be great.
I know.
Oh,
So-
I should come in really hard. Be like, oh, guys, Billy's this.
So I am very excited to get into this because this is really setting up the beginning of the mystery of what's going on.
Sorry, I just want to touch on something else, not just about the plot, but about the nostalgia of it. The 80s stuff is done perfectly. Often I found, again, just with television shows and movies that are filmed now, but that take place in the 80s, they oversaturate it. And they like, everybody's hair is like up and huge, like the 80s, but it's all perfect. And it's like, no, if you lived in that era, everybody tried to do that, and most people failed. Like, like most people could not get the Farrah Fawcett hair, but everybody was trying, and that's
The
that's
mom,
what it looks like. Yeah.
Mike's mom,
Yeah,
with her fucking Farrah Fawcett feathers, I was just
Yes.
like, oh,
but it was like
God,
it's the
And
perfect
how
level of
loaded. How
Yeah.
fucking loaded were they? That Nancy has her own phone line in the 80s.
Oh, that's
You know, actually, one of my favorite characters, he's a shitbird, but he's like comic relief to me through the entire run of this show, is Mr. Wheeler, being the lazy sack of shit that he is.
Yes, he's the 80s dad.
yeah.
Like he's a complete
Like, what
80s
did I
yuppie
do?
dad. And like his
Yep.
his political opinions that he'll drop every now and then, they're not like overly political, but they're just like, well, yep, that's why Reagan should be, like, he'll make little comments, and it's just funny to me because he is such an 80s dad.
Yeah, very much stereotypical 80s movie dad who has no idea what's going on. Like, and Mike's mom has no idea what's going on in her own house at all. Like the affluent, disconnected parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I think the thing that this show does so well that it continues, I mean, again, obviously we're through 2 episodes, but the thing that they do so well is they really establish these characters as being very realistic. Also, there is a little bit of a stretch though, because I joke about this, like kids had a lot of freedom then, but these kids have enormous amounts of freedom. Like they are running around in the woods searching for their friend late at night, and like it's
I mean, if you like, there was literally commercials on television that said it's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your
kids
children? Yeah, because parents didn't know, because you just didn't. Like I was a pretty good kid, but did I ever play in the woods at night? No, I never played in the woods at night. But I knew people who did. Like I knew people who were out at night, and I actually I was too much of a goody two shoes to do stuff at night. But I was also, like, I couldn't break a promise to my friends, so I was often an alibi for my friends who were like, "No, I was at Jenny's," and they'd ask me, "Yes, they were at my place. I will lie, but I will not actually do the bad thing."
And then
will
you will
lie
That's
for
just
them.
you will
hilarious.
ruin all of their orgies, Jenny.
Well, that was just the one orgy. I've only ever ruined one orgy in my life. So,
Of all the orgies you've been invited to, you've only ruined one.
You've
I
only
got
ruined
you.
I-
one.
I've ruined 100% of the orgies I've been invited to.
What a statistic.
You
Not a lot of people can say that.
you know
No, that's true.
that's
That
true.
is true.
So okay, here is where I want to end our session, Jess. Let's
Okay.
start because this is primarily for you, even though
Mhm.
Jenny doesn't seem to remember a ton either. So I want
don't.
predictions.
I really don't.
I want predictions on what you think is about to happen.
Okay, so we wrapped up episode 2 with Winona Ryder deciding to go back into the house instead of making a good escape in her gremlin. So I think, let's see, the kids decided not to tell Mike's mom about 11.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, I think that the kids are gonna, I think the kids are gonna try and sneak into the facility
Hmm.
because we saw how 11 got out because they found that piece of fabric stuck to that culvert and they saw the culvert went through to the facility. So I think that they're gonna try and go in there to find Will. I think that what's Winona Ryder gonna do? She's gonna go back. Yeah, you know what? That's it. That's all I got for predictions. I don't.
So the
I don't
kids
know
are
where
going to
else
go
going
into
with
the
this.
facility.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
Maybe
What-
not in the next episode, but eventually.
So is Will alive?
Yes,
Okay. What is Barb's fate?
she's with Will. I think she got
Mm.
taken just the same way as the guy in the elevator in the cold open, and same way as Will. And she got taken to the upside down. That's what I think.
Predictions on Steve Harrington.
I don't know. He's real date rapey, so probably something with that.
Somebody else slap him.
All right, I'm excited to see how all of this plays out. All right, so now actually, Jess, now that this has happened, you're actually allowed to find out by watching episodes 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, I
3
mean.
and 4.
Yay!
So now you can find out what happens. And these next 2 episodes are good ones. So definitely
This is
see
the one where they
some-
find a box of porno mags in the woods. You know,
I mean,
you guys ever hear about those where they have like those boxes of porno mags in the woods?
I
from, like, the 80s
lived
or
in the
90s?
80s. Of course I heard about porno, woods porno. That's how everybody got their porno in the 80s.
Forest porno. Everybody knows
Yes.
that.
I like, obviously it must have originated somewhere, but no, from my experience, all porn originated in the woods.
in the woods.
Yeah, it
They're
just
not making them like that anymore,
materializes.
you know?
It just spawned there.
Spot. All right. On that note, it's time to end this shit.
Let's do that. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Tarvalon After Dark. We hope you had a good time. As always, new episodes drop every week on Too Bad Tuesday, unless they don't. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter and Blue Sky at Tarvalon Dark. And remember, if you want to support the podcast, and obviously you want to do that, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Tarvalon After Dark. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Audible. And go to queerencia.co and use promo code TBAD to buy queer stuff. Thank you for joining us here at the Thirsty Tinker. And until next time,
Keep it wheel.
keep it wheel, I guess.
Yeah,
I
we'll
guess.
do it. All right. Good.
Yeah, they ride a lot of bikes.
Keep it strange.
Bye.
Or things.